So how am I going to fill up my speaking schedule this year?
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue, it is something you are.
All right, so this year is coming to an end, and what am I going to do for this upcoming year in order to fill my schedule and to get more gigs and to charge more? So what exactly am I going to do? So first off, we set up a new revenue goal, a new target in terms of how much we're going to make this year, not only from just speaking, but from other things as well. So the first target is the revenue goal. And now it's in terms of how do we make this happen? And in a previous video that I talked about just planning your entire year. And one of the things that we're planning in terms of February, well, in February, I'm going to be at this event. I'm going to be presenting at an event called the Traffic and Conversion Summit. And Gary Vaynerchuk's going to be there. All these guys are going to be there. And at this event, I'm going to bring a video guy with me, and we're going to shoot a lot of B-roll footage as well as me on stage doing my thing. And once I get that footage, we're actually going to update the website because so far the website has been pretty much the same. The website is good right now, but we're really just going to update it, just make it a million times better than what it is right now after we do this event where Gary and all these guys are going to be there. That way we just get, I don't want to say better footage. Well, I guess, yeah, better footage. But we're just going to get more footage, and that's the first thing we're going to do. Well, one of the first things we're going to do, because January I'm doing several events, February I'm doing several events, but once bam, we do the event, the Traffic and Conversion Summit, there's going to be about 3,000 people there, maybe a little bit more. Once we do that event, then we're going to essentially update the website right after that. And everything's scheduled already. I tell speakers that you gotta plan, and you gotta basically plan all this stuff out in advance. So because we know that, hey, I'm going to be doing this event, I'm going to be bringing some video guys with me, we're going to be recording all this stuff, because we know that, I know the types of footage that I'm going to get. And then we're going to just update the website from that. I keep telling speakers that if you want to charge $10,000, you got to look like a $10,000 speaker. So you have to make sure that your website and everything is constantly being improved. I remember talking with another speaker, a multi-millionaire speaker. I mean, he sold over $200 million in products. Guy's house is freaking huge. And I was asking him about his presentation because he's one of the top closers in the industry. In fact, if you ask anybody, they will say he is the top closer in the industry. And I was asking him about his presentation. I was like, how did your presentation get so good? I mean, how did you get so good at this thing? And he was like, well, I mean, I just keep changing it. I mean, I keep improving it. He always makes these little improvements. And the same thing has to go with your website, with your speech. Obviously, you have to keep improving. And even though I'm still charging 10 grand and up for events, we're constantly improving things. The website, everything, anything that we need to improve, we're constantly improving. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. The next thing I'm going to do for this upcoming year is we're going to build a bigger sales team, because right now I've got the sales process down, and we're just going to build a bigger sales team in order to book gigs at the $20,000 level and up, because at this level the way the sales process works is a little bit differently, and people aren't necessarily hiring you because of your speech. They're hiring you because of who you are. So we're going to kind of change the sales process a little bit, but I'm going to build a bigger sales team and a bigger and better sales team as well. So right now we're going to update the hiring systems that we have in place. We're just going to ask better questions, and we're just going to get more specific and more. We're just going to drill down the hiring process in general, so we get a better quality of person. That way, when we hire salespeople, then we just keep them for a while. So we're going to make sure that we get a better sales team by starting out with the hiring process. Now, the outbound systems that I have in place, those are going to essentially, we're just going to test better versions of it. So right now we have an outbound system, an outbound sequence that works. It gets great results, but we're just going to test different things. We're going to test different email templates in order to see which email template converts better. And when I say convert, I mean in terms of, are they clicking to my website? Because that's the purpose of my outbound sequence, is we contact them, and after talking with them for a little bit, we get them to go to the website. And once they see the website, they're like, God damn, So that's a response. But in order to get them to the website, I need them to click on a link inside the email. So we're going to test different versions of this outbound sequence in order to get them to the website. We're also going to redefine the outbound sequence. So I guess you could say it's a little bit longer. So right now it's almost like we just do like 2 emails really. But we're going to test it because when you're charging 20 grand and up, at that point, you have to contact people more than just 2 times. So we're going to test it and see where's the right fit in terms of how many times we have to contact them in order to get hired. The next thing that we're going to change is actually our Google AdWords campaign. We're going to make it even more specific. I mean, we're going to just create a top-notch Google AdWords campaign and redefine the whole thing. But the Google AdWords, the great thing about that is once you have it set up, it does take time, but once you have it set up, then it's like you just turn it off, turn it on, just turn it off. Whenever you want gigs, it's a really good system for getting people to come to you rather than you going to them. So we're going to redefine the AdWords system because a lot of gigs from AdWords, when people are searching for speakers on Google, they don't have a huge budget. So we're going to redefine the AdWords system to where we can specifically target the people with bigger budgets, people who are looking for speakers for bigger events. So that's what we're going to change in our AdWords system. And so far, almost everything that I do is in terms of outbound marketing. We are thinking about inbound marketing, and it's not definite yet, but I do have plans for inbound marketing. And those plans, I don't want to say what they are, but it's going to be really cool if we can execute it really, really well. But right now, our outbound sequence is really good in terms of getting gigs, and we're really considering the inbound sequence, but that's what we're going to change. And I want to ask you this. What do you have in place? I mean, what are the things that you have in place that you're going to implement this year to grow your business? You don't need to hire people. You don't need to have all this fancy stuff. You just need to make sure that you have a plan. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing to get the goal that you want, to get the gigs that you want. Don't just say, I want gigs. I want more gigs. Don't say that. How many gigs do you want? How many gigs do you have to get every single week? How many people do you have to contact every single day? What systems do you have in place? I mean, do you know everything that you're doing every single day? What's going to happen is you don't want to think in terms of, oh, I know that. Oh, send out email, blah, 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 I know that. You want to think in terms of working out the kinks. So you know that, okay, you need to send out emails, but what are you putting in the subject? What are you putting inside the email to make sure that they're responding to you, to make sure that they're actually hiring you? You know that you should have a better website, but how are you making this website better? Are you executing it the right way? So it's not enough to say, yeah, I know that. It's not enough to do that. Make sure that this year you get more serious, that you put everything in place, and make sure that you execute right. That's everything that we're going to be doing this year in the business. We're basically going to go big or go home.